Well, for this week's Hot Fudge Sunday, I thought I would come to you from our nursery. This is where kids come when, after small talk, we have some time in worship where the music is played, and we do some singing, and we have some prayer, and then we have time for the children, like a small talk, a children's sermon type of thing, and then they come back here. The young ones come in this room, so I thought I would come in here for today's message because we're talking about step number 4 on the journey to be, and that step is the being real step. I'm going to be real with myself, with God, with others, and I'm going to surrender my secrets and take off my masks. That's step number 4, and that's what we talked about today. And I'm here in the nursery because of the fact that we talked about the fact that we don't do this on a regular basis. We're not good at being real. And one of the reasons why we're not good at being real is that a long time ago when we were kids, we learned that being real can get us into some trouble. Being real can be used against us. We talked about the fact that there are many people that have scars in their life still from the names that they were called in elementary school on the playground. Maybe they were, because they had glasses, or they had braces, or maybe they had a limp, or maybe they, their clothes weren't the same as everybody else's clothes, or they had a wardrobe malfunction one day, and they had a name attached to them, and it stayed with them all their life. And we talked about the fact that we've learned this at a very young age, and sometimes kids are vicious, and so we grow up with this understanding that I can't be real. I can't surrender my secrets. I can't take off my mask, for if I do, I will get called a name. If I do, people won't like me. And that is a huge part of overcoming step number 4, is getting comfortable in our own skin, is understanding that faults and fractures on all, that we are who we are, and God wants to meet us right there. And if we aren't real with God, God will never be real to us. And some of you right now might be in a situation where you're saying, God's not real to me. It doesn't seem like He's real. I never hear from Him, or there doesn't seem to be any connection. Well, I would invite you to ask the question, are you being real with God? Because many times when God doesn't seem real to us, it's because we aren't real to Him. We're pretending. We're keeping secrets. We're putting on our masks. And the reality is that God can only come so far. God can only meet us where we allow Him to meet us at. And if we're meeting Him in secrets, if we're meeting Him in fakeness, if we're meeting Him wearing masks, then He's not going to seem real. And so it's important for us to be real so that God can be real to us. And we talked also too about the fact that there's a phenomenon in the church that men just aren't as prevalent. Any church you go to, you usually find a whole bunch more women than men. That's not the case across the board. It's a broad generalization. But generally speaking, women are more involved in worship and church than men are. And one of the reasons why is because of step number 4. Step number 4, that's getting real with ourselves, with God, and with others. Us guys, that's emotions. That's like a chick flick. And we're not interested in a chick flick. We want to just do stuff and be done. Have a task, get it done, no small talk or anything like that. But God is calling us to step outside of our comfort zone and to do things that we don't normally do, to get emotional, to be real with ourselves, be real with God, be real with others, to be vulnerable and to be transparent. Knowing that there are going to be people out there that aren't going to understand. There are going to be people out there that are going to criticize us. There are going to be people out there that are going to hold our realness against us. And that's okay, because that's not your problem. That's their problem. Our problem is that we've got to figure out how to be real. The only thing that we can control in this life is ourselves. We can't control anybody else. And so we can't get caught up and hung up with trying to impress other people. And the fact of the matter is if we spend all of our time trying to impress other people, then basically what we're saying to God is their opinion's more important than your opinion, God. And we have to realize that no matter how hard we try, no matter how hard we work, all of those people that we're trying to impress, none of them can help us with God. But yet God can help us in our relationship with every single one of those people. So it's important for us to focus our attention to being real with God so that God can meet us there. And yes, there will be people that won't accept us. There will be people that won't like when we become real. And they might shun us. They might stop talking to us. They might break relationship. That's not your concern. Your concern is being real. So that's enough for the Hot Fudge Sunday for this week, for step number 4. Next week, come back for step number 5 as we march on down the road of the journey to be. Have a great week.